Witches and wizards, Death Eaters, and Aurors alike. Hogwarts Legacy is almost upon us, and there are plenty of details that we already know about the game, but there's still plenty more to be uncovered when it launches in February. Welcome to the Lumberjack Gaming Channel, your place for friendly, quality gaming content. That's right, Hogwarts Legacy is almost upon us, and there are plenty of fantastic, juicy details that we know about the game already. This is the second video I've done on 30 details, but these are brand new. They're not in any particular order, so you can watch this one and then head on to the other one. With that being said, there are so many great things to go over, so let's jump right into it. We're going to jump into some of the great things like the spells, the combat, the characters that we're going to see, but here's a few basic things that we want to start off with. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be running on Unreal Engine, which the game looks incredible already. From the scenery to the magic usage to the customization, it really feels like they did their homework on this one, and it's going to look beautiful on this engine. While this experience is not specifically for PlayStation 5 users, it's definitely geared in a way that makes use of all of the PlayStation 5 features, starting with exclusives that PlayStation users will get, but it also makes use of the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, and the dynamic light bar in the PlayStation controller. Are these things necessary for an enjoyable experience? No, but if you do play on PlayStation, you will definitely be able to look forward to that. It has also been confirmed that this game does not have any microtransactions. Kind of. The Dark Arts pack is a pack that you can purchase that does come with the Digital Deluxe Edition. However, right now it's the only downloadable thing, and it doesn't really give you an advantage. It's more cosmetics, but it's the only one, and it doesn't seem like they have any plans further, but they wanted to make sure to make it a point to say that there were no microtransactions in this game. Now the question is, where do you fit into the story? Well, it has been confirmed that we survive some sort of pivotal event right before we come to Hogwarts as a 5th year student. Now, late admittance to Hogwarts is not a normal thing. However, it is confirmed that our character has some sort of ancient magic or ability to use ancient magic that gives us an exception for that. What this pivotal event is, we don't know, but I'm sure excited to find out. There are plenty of people that you will meet along the ways in this game. One of the ones I want to talk about, though, is Sebastian Sallow. He is a Slytherin that is on the path to figuring out a cure for his sister Anne's disease. It seems like everything that we know about this game, he's going to play an extremely important role because you'll be able to choose to follow him down the path of the dark arts. It seems like the logical conclusion there is that he is going to use the dark arts to try and find this cure for his sister. And hey, if you want to be a dark witch or wizard, you can do that. But we'll talk more about using the dark arts here in a little bit. There are plenty of new faces that we're going to see in Hogwarts Legacy, considering this game takes place in the 1800s, and a lot of them come in the form of our professors. One of the main teachers, Abraham Ronen, teaches charms. He is said to be jovial and lighthearted, and while his personality type might not fit it, he is a Slytherin. Seems like he's particularly fond of games and regularly uses them as part of his unorthodox teaching style. Professor Aesop Sharp, who is also a Slytherin, is the professor of potions. He is a keenly astute teacher who has had a lengthy career as an Auror until an injury forced him to retire from the field. But instead of taking a boring desk job at the Ministry of Magic, he now shares his expertise in making potions and teaching it in Hogwarts. Professor Sharp is not easy to impress, but he does take genuine pride in those who excel in his class. If you ever wanted to know what it was like to be taught a class by a ghost, then Professor Cutbert Binns is the history of magic teacher. I imagine for new students this might be kind of an interesting concept, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. The verdict is still out on whether or not she's evil, but Professor Dinah Hecat is a Ravenclaw and is the defense against the dark arts teacher. She's described as a stern but likable teacher who is rumored to have spent time in the Department of Mysteries at the Ministry of Magic. Her hands-on teaching method seems like it satisfies her desires for action, but she is otherwise happy to be at Hogwarts. Next, we have Professor Eleazar Fig, who seems to be working to uncover Ranrock, who is the goblin that is starting a rebellion who is working with the dark wizard Rookwood, and to uncover all of their villainous secrets. We also got a decent look at the professor of herbology is Mirabel Garlick. What a fitting name for an herbology teacher. And she is a Hufflepuff. She grew up with muggles and didn't feel quite at home before she joined Hogwarts as a student. She has a very sunny demeanor and charms students and her colleagues, and though many worry that she'll one day depart for another school, she insists that she's never leaving them. Now, while we have a number of new friendly faces, we also have some familiar faces and names that we can expect to see in Hogwarts Legacy. One of the first ones being nearly headless Nick. By this time in the 1800s, he was already a nearly headless ghost who was wandering the Hogwarts grounds. It'll be quite interesting to see how much of his personality traits transfer over from what we know from the Harry Potter books and movies. Another familiar ghost that we'll be able to see is Peeves, the cheeky poltergeist, is going to be making an appearance in Hogwarts Legacy, and we can only imagine how much trouble he'll actually cause, but honestly, I'd like to get in on some of that trouble. Another familiar face that we can also see is more of a painting. The fat lady we all know and love from the door of the Gryffindor common room was already protecting her students in the 1800s, and has been confirmed, as we can see here, coming into Hogwarts Legacy. If you've enjoyed this video so far, it's been useful to you, go ahead and give that thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you already know which house you're going to be starting off with in Hogwarts Legacy, comment that down below. I personally am going to be starting off with Slytherin. We're going to jump into the really fun stuff, the spells, the combats, the gameplay. So let's dive right back on in. As of right now, there are over 20 spells that have been confirmed for this game, which makes it so that we don't have to just continue to cast Stupefy at all of our enemies. Listen, it's a great spell, but you know, there's more out there. These spells come in two different categories. We have slottable spells and essential spells. Slottable spells are going to be kept in what they refer to as your spell diamond and can be easily changed around. So these are customizable and you'll be able to equip them in whatever way you see fit. Essential spells are spells that are more crucial and are used in any situation. It seems like these will be more for things like puzzle solving, grabbing collectibles, things that you cannot be without to make your way through the Hogwarts grounds or the vast open world that comes with this game. One important thing to mention is that there will be 3 additional spell diamonds that you'll be able to unlock throughout your time with the game. So that gives you 16 total spells at any given time by the end of the game that you can quickly switch between and use in whatever way you see fit. In the last video, I did mention that all 3 killing curses have been confirmed for the game. So that'd be Avada Kedavra, Crucio, and Imperio. So you can really live out your dark wizard fantasies. But as of right now, we also have confirmed that we can see Accio, Descendo, Incendio, Petrificus Totalis, Revelio, Stupefy, and Wingardium Leviosa. If all of these spells and combinations seem overwhelming, well, at least you have the Crossed Wands Dueling Club, which can be found in the Clock Tower. This is a place where you'll be able to test out all of your spells, your combos, and really hone in your magic combat abilities by sparring with real students. And if you get the digital deluxe version or purchase the Dark Arts pack, you will also get the Dark Arts Battle Arena for practicing all of your spells. Speaking of spells and combat, there are also very important aspects to go over when it comes to your combat style. We discussed some of these in the last video, but also it's important to know that in the Room of Requirement, you will be able to sow and harvest plants that are used for potion making, so you can really fine-tune the type of combat that you're going to be getting into and the extra advantage you're going to be giving yourself throughout the game through these potions that you create. We also talked about the Vivarium Beast Care feature, but it's important to know that some of the animals that you're going to be taking care of, some of them you've rescued from poachers, while others are plagued with some sort of dark magic that likely you'll be able to dispel as you take care of them. We also got a look at some of the new things that we'll be able to experience in the world, you know, like when you open a chest, but somehow it has a giant eyeball on it. The Hogwarts Legacy team shared this on their social media in a disillusionment chest, leading us to believe there will be other types of chests and collectibles that won't be so necessarily easy to open. When it comes to release dates, there are actually quite a bit of details to go over here because it's kind of all over the place. The next gen release of this game is on February 10th, which is rapidly approaching. However, if you are on old gen consoles such as the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, the game will not release until April 4th. The team said that they wanted extra time to make sure that this game was a great experience across all platforms and all generations. Unfortunately, for Nintendo Switch users, you will not receive this game until July 25th. It's also interesting to note that the box art is different across different versions of this game. The regular box art for this game has a nice, calming feel to it, while the digital deluxe definitely seems to hone into more of the dark side of the wizarding world. And what's even more interesting is that the Xbox version has a dragon on it that the PlayStation version and the Switch version do not. Definitely interesting if you ask me. There's also 2 books that are going to be releasing with this game. There's a 252-page art book that is going to come with concept art and interviews that are exclusive to this book, and that will release with the game on February 10th when it releases for next-gen consoles. There will also be 1 month later an official game guide that will be released. However, the developers didn't want to release this when the game launched originally because they wanted people at first to go through and explore the game for themselves before they, got a one-up and found everything on there. It's kind of nice to see that game guides aren't completely dead. However, all of this information will probably be found on YouTube 3 days later. I'm definitely stoked for this game. That was 30 more details that we have about Hogwarts Legacy. I still believe there are plenty of things that developers have made sure to keep secret that I cannot wait to discover when this game comes out in February. If you missed the first 30 details that we went over, you can go ahead and click on that over there as you get ready for all things Hogwarts Legacy.